What is up, yo? Another week, another stream. What's up, Zaire Swepo? Yeah, today was a busy day. Another stream from the void, indeed. Everyone freaks out when Ricker's in here. What the hell? Where's Ricker? Hope he's doing well. Oh, so here's the angel from last week. There's a lot of orange going on, huh? Yeah. Figure we'll do another drawing in I think I finished this last week too. And then maybe do some animations. I'm actually finding a flow with that Akumi promo animation, finding the love. It's just about enjoying the process and not trying to rush. When you think you gotta finish things quickly, it rips all the fun out of it. Oh, hey, what's up, Ricker? So that was you on Twitter or X talking about beating level 47, huh? I sent you a message on there. Might help if you need some assistance in the game. Oh, you're playing the browser version. Level 47. I don't think your level 47 is available. The browser version only goes to level 10, and then I unlock one challenge level, a level 20 level boss, and a level 50 level boss. Nice. Gwen's pretty good. Summons an abomination and two shades, and then those shades, when they die, they turn into skeletons. So basically you have 5 units every time she summons. Really good. Maybe I'll color. I made this variant of creepy girl with super long legs. I was thinking of making like this subspecies of humans with super long legs that they fight with. Where'd it go? I hate when it does that. It's trying to like kick people really hard. You're playing a mobile version on the browser. Nice. Are you using an Android or a mobile phone, Ricker? Yeah, we got Slender Girl. Let me color this. I think I wanna make her into her own character and make her fight with these legs. Wow, why does it keep going all the way up? I'm gonna move this. Okay, Android, nice. I couldn't get it to work on my Android. Not on the browser. I was kind of annoyed. It doesn't work on the iPhone either. The browser version, anyway. Digit, digigrade. The graphics are not quite as well in the mobile, but it handles it well. Yeah, the mobile. If you play on your web browser on mobile, it looks bad. The quality is really bad. I don't know why. It doesn't look like that when you actually play the app on the phone, but on the web browser on the phone, it lowers the quality for some reason. It's like it compresses it or something. It looks like a really compressed JPEG. Looks really bad. But at least you can play it. Just know it's super crisp. Not like the like some of the portraits are compressed, but like the actual characters that animate are really nice and clear on the mobile app. Basically, the web browser on your phone is not a representation of how the game actually looks. Kind of a hack. Kind of a hack. I spent the day with the coder trying to get that up onto the browser. We had to jump through a bunch of hoops, technical hoops. Maybe develop her legs more with her feet more digit more digit grade if they developed to be walking on their tippy toes. Oh yeah, yeah. Those lower limbs will be longer. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to make it look like a. I don't want to look. I don't want her to look animal like. I want her to still look human. the idea that I had is to make sort of like these new beings magical sort of what's the word, entities or summons that like wizards or mages summon. So they're technically not like, they're not of the world. They're not of a normal world. They're of a magical realm where they're just built to fight. And some of them have weapons besides their legs. I'll show you some of the other ones I made. It's on the PC. It's not on here. Once I start animating. What this is. Having a blast. I want to beat the game to get to Motoni's hero. Glad to hear. Oh, shit. What's up, regular person? Welcome. We should get on that. Music. Is this an OG character? Kind of. I was making a creepy girl, but I was just making her really like uh, really strange proportions, like really long legs and arms. But then I was like, what if this is like, I'm not sure if I wanted to make it like a variant, like a different version of Creepy Girl in a different universe, or just make it a completely different character. So, not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see where the imagination takes us. Everything I draw, I want to make animations of now. I want to draw characters that will move, that will do battle. We'll take a look at the animations I worked on during the weekend in an hour. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to see it like her creepily crawling around, fighting. Kind of like a spider or an insect. Creepy yet somehow attractive at the same time. It's my favorite. Scary beauty. Beauty that is scary. I don't know if you saw, but I made like this. I think I drew this first, and I was like, I might have been the other way around. I don't remember. I'm like making ideas for animations, little sketches that I could see in movement, and then I guess it can go either way. I make a still drawing that makes me want to draw an animation, or I make an animated looking sketch that makes me want to make a pinup drawing. Yeah, this would be a cool character to animate. Actually, it kind of started with those priestesses I made with Miltonius and those drawings, where they look kind of like Hellraiser, look like Hellraiser chicks. I made the hyper long limbs on them. So those actually came first. Looking like a moth. Yeah, the pinhead looking girls that I showed before. I think that's what inspired this. I like the idea of Miltonius having bodyguards that are creepy yet sexy looking demon girls. Fuck, this monitor that I'm looking at separate from my iPad is so bad, man. And I think that's what get I think it's what gets recorded in the stream, which is so bad. Because I look at the stream art on my PC monitors and I'm like, why are the colors so fucked up looking? And it's because this monitor is being recorded the way it's fucked up. Like the colors look so off, and I can't even show you what it actually looks like because I wonder if there's a way to like stream directly from my iPad. I wouldn't be able to have a camera though. It would just be the iPad. But yeah, the colors are so bland, so muddy looking. That's not what it actually looks like. Gotta take my word for it. Alright, Ricker, have a good time at work. Yeah, the PC monitor colors are so muted. Let's see if I can get it closer. None of these are even close. Multimedia, standard. I guess multimedia is okay. It still looks terrible. Creepy, creepy girl. Still here, just eating. What's up, Shades? Yeah, I'm gonna take like I'm gonna turn my attention back towards animation. Oh, what's going on here? And really fall in love with the process again, and at the same time try to dive into 3D, but I'm not going to try to rush it. I was trying to rush it. It's like you can't rush art. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes I've made. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's throw some story on this, huh? It'd be kind of cool if they had like uh, gradiated hands and feet. Do you think animating for video games sort of ruins animating for a short or a movie since you're animating game assets which are short repeatable animations rather than something long form? Short repeatable animations made for a game. There's sooner sense of accomplishment because you see the work right away. You finish run cycle and the gratification is more instant, especially compared to a short that maybe thousands of frames where the run cycle doesn't necessarily mean the whole animation is now complete. Sorry for the ramble, but I was wondering if that affected your view of animation as well. Yeah, it's not rambling. I like to think about these things. Uh, I don't think it ruins it. It definitely is a different way of experiencing animation. I don't think games ruined animation for me. I think I ruined animations for me. I ruined animations for myself by turning it into a destination instead of a process. Instead of going, ooh, I want to make this character move, and wow, how fun it is to try all these different techniques to see what looks best. I just wanted to see it done. And so the process of getting there was painful because every second that the animation wasn't done was not fun because all I wanted was the end product. And so in a way you could say, oh, but video games were faster, yeah. And so that kind of like spoiled me a little bit with the instant satisfaction. But I don't think it was the cause. I think it was just part of the bad mentality I had that I had impressed on my workflow. I think both animation in games and animations for film are just different. One's not better than the other. I think they're both fun. One is great for telling stories or creating cinema. One is great for obviously interactive entertainment. I like both. But for the longest time, making animations for storytelling or cinema was something I did not like. I didn't want to even think about it. When I got my new computer, I didn't even install. I didn't even install After Effects because I was like, I'm never gonna make animation. I didn't say that, but I felt that way. Like, I'm not gonna use it, so I'm not installing this software anymore, which was specifically for my animations. And I actually installed it today. I installed After Effects, the After Effects bundle I bought 10 years ago. Literally, I have Adobe After Effects when you could still just buy it as a box product before the subscription model. But yeah, just recently I've started to fall back in love with just making animations just for the process of making animations. And I'll show you there the animation I've been working on. I worked over on the weekend. I'm really happy with it. But there's not much done. There's only like 10 seconds of animation, but I don't care because I had fun making it. And if I continue to make animations this way, it'll eventually be finished and I'll have something that I'm really happy with and actually had a fun time making. Like even that Akumi Wars promo animation that I made, I rushed that. I tried to get that. I got that done in 1 month. There were parts of it that I enjoyed, but for the most part, it was get it done, get it done, get it done. That was the only mentality. Just finish it. Just finish it. I don't like that. That takes all the fun out of art. And so I'm relearning not I'm relearning the love of the process, remembering the love of the craft and not just the destination. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. For the longest time, game animation was the only animation I could do because it was short form, repeatable, and you got the satisfaction of I finished like quickly. And the animation that you create is reused indefinitely. In a game, the animation gets reused over and over and over. Whereas in a film, you watch the animation once and maybe you never watch it again. If you could go back in time to give your younger Meltonius advice regarding animation, what year would you go back? And what advice would you give that year's Meltonius? Wow, that's a good question. What year I would go back? I would go back to the year that I released the first Akumi episode, and all the energy and buzz started to surround it, and I was getting emails and approached by big time producers and emails from different like people that wanted to work with me and create a show. When success hits you, it hits you all at the same time. It's not like they come at one. It's not like it comes one at a time. During the Akumi, during that first Akumi episode time, like I was getting approached by everyone and everything, and Artix was part of that. Uh, like they'd already or talked to me before Akumi, but I was already working for Artix as I was developing the first Akumi episode, so it was all happening at the exact same time. But when the choice between continuing to work with Artix or continuing to work with Akumi came up, I like the choice was work on Akumi and the risk is you don't make any money, or work with Artix and you're guaranteed to make a lot of money. And I chose, you know what I chose. We got Akumi, we got AQW. I don't regret it, but I would if I could go back, I would not have abandoned Akumi the way I did. I just stopped working on Akumi flat out because I just didn't have the energy. And then I met my future ex-wife at that time, so that took all my time. So everything during that time took me away from my art. Without realizing it was the art that brought all these good things to me because I was in a good place. When you're in a good place and you're creating from a good place, you attract all these other things into your life. And then as soon as those things came into my life, I dropped the thing that attracted all of that. I dropped my art. Right? I turned my art into something I didn't enjoy. One thing that you said recently that kind of it resonated with me is that every frame could be considered a little picture. Yeah, you can just focus on the drawing, that little picture, instead of thinking about the whole animation you're trying to do. I think that was pretty good advice. Yeah, thank you. That came to me as I was like I think of these as messages from the universe. Like that just came to me, and so I wrote it down. And I think that's how you have to think of it. You can't think of it as, oh, I need to make 1,000 drawings to make this animation look good. Just make one drawing. Make one drawing, one key drawing, and then the next day you make another key drawing. And then like a vision comes to you, and then you make 3 drawings in one day, and then 4 drawings in one day. And then all of a sudden you like have this really cool animation, and you look at the animation like, holy shit, I want to see more of this. And then it's just like a domino effect. I didn't know these streams were so introspective. Well, good questions will get me thinking. Zayer's got some good questions. Of course, they are introspective. The abyss is infinitely deep. I love talking about inspiring things, what makes people tick, philosophy. That's my favorite. Those are my favorite subjects. I hate shallow conversation. I can't do it. But at least I'm remembering now. Man, it took me a long time. It took me a really long time. I would say from 30, 32 to almost 50. What was that? Almost 20 years to figure out, oh, wait a minute, you're doing this wrong. You're chasing the money, you're chasing the things. It's the process, it's the enjoyment of the process, the journey that brings all the things. Do the things with love, and then everything else comes with that. That's a byproduct. Better late than never. The gray makes her look like an automation to me. Oh yeah, she does kind of like a robot, huh? Maybe we'll give her a more yellowish tone. Meltonius the philosopher. I was talking to Adam like a couple years ago, and he called me the old wise man on the mountain. You know what I started looking at my life as, which I've done in the past, like all the way. I had the idea when I was in high school, actually. In high school, I had imagined that my body was just like a mech, and the observer was piloting this mech, this flesh mechanical body. But in the same way, I look at my life now. I'm like, I'm just observing this character, which is called Milton, like I'm watching a movie, like I'm watching myself from a third person view, and just going, huh, that's interesting. What's he gonna do next? And instead of taking things too personally, I'm like looking at it like a movie, which helps a lot. I want to make her more flesh like and less metal like. Looks like one of those gray aliens. I like that. I'm all into grays. The grays. I've been following aliens, philosophy, and universal talk since 2006, 2007, before it became more mainstream. It's like now I can talk about it more without sounding crazy. Have you ever read Siddhartha? Thinking of picking it up? No. Let me look that up. Sounds like something. Siddhartha. Sounds like something I'd be interested, as was the life of Buddha. Yeah, I'm interested in all that stuff. How all the religions basically say the same thing, just in different ways. Even the people that are in the spiritual practices still fight and argue the exact same way that the religions fight and argue, completely missing the point. All truth is true for you. It's all personal. There we go. She's looking less robotic and more alien. I like it. I do like the idea of cyborgs too, though. But this one, I want her to be more like a fiend, like a demon or magical being. If you were isekai'd into a world of Akumi and could only return to the real world after destroying Meltonius, how would you do it? Would you even do it? Destroy Meltonius? I don't know if I could destroy Meltonius. It's destroying myself. I would probably be living in the Akumi verse. So Miltonius is like a representation of my younger, angry self, but as flawed and imperfect as that version of me is, it's still a part of me. Can't get rid of it. Even though it caused a lot of problems, it also caused a lot of growth. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, man. And she looking like a dangerous creature. Oh shit, it's already been an hour. April Tonius is the younger, flawed, angrier version of yourself. Would you ever make an old man Miltonius? An older, more mature Miltonius contrasts to represent. Well, that's a good idea. Miltonius, not April Miltonius. Like April Tonius. Wouldn't that be a gender bent? That's a good idea. Actually, I've actually made in the past older versions of Miltonius, but I didn't really capitalize. I didn't really draw it much because I wasn't in love with drawing when I had made it. But yeah, maybe it's time to revisit that again. The reminds me of the Conan the Barbarian that found his kingdom, became the king. Maybe a version of Miltonius that. Maybe a version of Miltonius that didn't learn and like became and only learned as he got older after he'd already created a bunch of destruction. Could be a fun story. I think with animation and storytelling, it opens up. I think that's what I was supposed to do the whole time. I think I was here to make animations, not. I'm not. I'm not here to make pinup art or games. I think my true calling was to create animations the whole time. I just made a big detour, and I'm finding my way back. Looks like she'd be a good rock climber. That wingspan. Yeah, a lot of rock climbers have this sort of look. They look like spider monkeys. All right. I think we can look at the animation I've been working on. She came together pretty fast. Let me do some. Let's do a little touch-ups with the black or dark line. I've always loved when artists, growing up, when I saw art where detail was always suggested but not fully drawn. Like how, like, you see how nothing is completely nothing is completely shadowed or detailed in these sketches I'm doing. They're just kind of suggested. I think it makes the imagination work, and it actually makes art look better because you have to use your imagination to fill in the missing parts, in my humble opinion. I think when everything is filled in, that's a different kind of art, and it's fine. It's what I used to do all the time, and still do when I'm doing flash art. It's kind of hard to do this sketchy art in flash. But I think the sketchy art that just suggests detail and makes the viewer have to like fill it in with his imagination or their imagination uh, is more engaging because your mind automatically does it. It's not like you have to try. Your mind assumes what's there and like fills in the blank. Kind of like what some of you are suggesting what it looked like earlier. It's like everyone has their own interpretation. And I think that's part of the fun of art. No one sees the same thing. I've looked back at some of my art and I'm like, holy shit, I never knew it looked like that. Because my mind was just in a different place. Young versus old man, or old man Wolverine was great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could do something similar. Sounds kind of like Gilgamesh. Gil going to shut the start of his epic with very brash and very powerful. By the end, he's wiser and contemplative and thoughtful because of everything he's gone through. I need to read that. I don't know about the story of Gilgamesh. I've obviously heard about Gilgamesh. I need to start reading again, like actually reading nonfiction or not just stories. I need to start reading stories again. I still remember the Odyssey from high school. That was one story I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. On the topic of young Miltonius and old Miltonius, I'm going to send you a video that I think might be a good fodder for you to think about when thinking about old Miltonius. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Send it over. I'll watch it. Let's try a simple background for this. Gilgamesh is probably one of my favorite stories of all time, and it proves why it stood the test of time as our oldest story. Between Akumi, Jade, and Max, who do you think we could survive being hunted by the longest? Survive being hunted by the longest? Well, Jade is more of a professional, so she would probably catch me first. I think I'd probably survive the longest being hunted by Max, because I think Max would be too distracted by his vanity. So it'd be Jade would catch me first, Akumi would catch me second, and Max would be last. I forgot that flip it. Alright. I'll show you guys my animations. Switching gears. So here's what I worked on. over the weekend. That's it. Actually, let me oh, these are the other girls I'd made. So this is a flash version of my fiend girl. I made a Akumi version. And then ideas for these magical girls that are summoned by wizards. Here's some. I don't know if I can show any of that too long. Which were inspired by these girls. Thank you, Zaire. Yeah, I'm more excited to make them come alive in animation than anything else. That's what I'm talking about. I think I'm here to make animations, and I always was. I just forgot. But yeah, this took actually it didn't take that long because I didn't. It maybe took maybe I don't know 4 to 6 hours a day from maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even today. If I just keep doing this, I just keep making like 2 seconds, 3 seconds of animation a day. Eventually, it becomes a completed animation. All right. Yeah. Once I put it through After Effects and all that, and like put all the polish on it, it's gonna look like, yeah, it's gonna do something. I don't know. It's gonna catch attention. I'll do some of the notes I have for the last part of the stream. I'm thinking of like making her Akumi's outfit more not less lingerie, but more like I don't know. We'll see. I like it looking sexy, but I want to try different things. We'll leave that for now. I wanted to give Gwen fishnets. Was that Milt on the throne pose again? Did you not see those? Yeah, these are pretty old. Or not old. I did these. I showed these already. Just different hue colorations. I think this one looks probably the best. This one's a little too, maybe a little too gray. I'm not sure. But yeah, I want to make a. It's the only version I have of a Miltonius like this. I need to see what he looks like standing up. But I think he would be way easier to animate. Then he could be animated like something in this. Yeah, these animations are going to be fun to work on. This one inspires me too, because I made this during the time that I was hating to animate, but it still came out pretty good. I rushed to finish this animation, but let's see. You can see the comparison. They both look good. Animation. This is what I'm supposed to do. Whoops. That was an accident. Yeah, you like the blue Miltonius tint. Yeah, so I'm thinking of experimenting with doing an animation with just a limited color palette. The Gauntlet Girl, she is an old character that I've yet to put into something. I call her Trang Voidwalker, or Void Weaver. So the idea behind her is that she was attacked, her village was attacked by Rancha's forces, and she tried to fight back, and then she lost her arm. And then Miltonius somehow is there and stops her from getting killed, and then imbues her arm with void powers, and so she becomes someone that controls void magic with her arm. I had a lot more story with her than I thought. I totally forgot that was her backstory. But yeah, she's got a story we could tell too. Trang Voidweaver. I'll definitely bring her back. I think she's got some potential. That's the wrong way to do it. Miltonia's adopted daughter. Interesting concept. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe like an apprentice. I didn't think about that. Lots of potential there. This is why I never fishnets on an animation. It can get tricky. I think that's too much. I think it's too much. Yeah, I don't think I like that. Probably make it work, but I don't think it's worth it. Have you ever seen the Looney Tunes Daffy Duck the Wizard? I think I heard about that. I don't know. I don't think I saw it though. Yeah, I need to check that out. I was actually inspired by a lot of Looney Tunes animations. No, I never saw this. I need to watch that. Goddamn. 14 years ago. What the fuck? I never saw this. I think I heard about it. See what happens? Like during that time that I hated animation or doing animations, I stopped keeping up with everything. Stopped watching anime, stopped watching animation, stopped watching movies. Dude, it really fucked up my love for art. I have an idea to incorporate spine animation. Spine animation into these, especially for hair waves. That would be so convenient. But not to like not animate, but to experiment. Because I animate her hair here too, frame by frame animation. Not doing things to avoid the work, but to see how it looks. Very important. Very important distinction. Haha, 14 years ago. Yeah, 14 years ago, if that was posted at the time it came out, or maybe 15, 16 years ago if they posted it a year later. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I'll probably watch that tonight or tomorrow. It looks awesome. Damn, we're almost at 2 hours. Maybe I can get one drawing in, or at least the beginning. Another thing I learned, man, fly. When I'm not trying to rush to finish, my keyframes look way better. And I'm not trying to figure out how to make everything into a tween. Not trying to turn everything into a tween. I used to be half my process was just, can I just turn these into symbols and then tween it? Like, no joke. That was my process of animating for the longest time. That's how much I hated to animate, or how much I turned animation into a chore. I'm not thinking that way anymore. And I would never use a rough like this for keyframes in the past. I would just use a shape fill and line tool. Now I'm combining it again, like I did with the original Akumi. Combining both. But I wanted to do like, I wanted to try fingernails on here. I always make a backup in case I screw up. Make a backup in case I screw up. COVID really, I think COVID screwed a lot of our sense of time. Nah, I don't think this is worth it. Not worth the time. make the new drawing. I'll send you the animation I'm working on, but it's so extremely rough. It embarrasses me. Everything starts rough before it gets smooth. I was experimenting, animating with just like a rough ball for my characters, which actually works pretty good. Just animating a ball, a bouncing ball to mimic what the character is going to do actually is something I'm going to do more. I think it works. It totally works. I think that Glory Bros rough animation, I use the ball. Did you see that? I think I showed you that there, the old Glory Bros animation that I never finished, where they fight some demon that's about to attack some girls. That when I watched it again, I was like, oh, this was actually pretty good. I'm gonna finish it. But that animation, I'm pretty positive I used bouncing balls first for the Glory Bros. animations. Let me take a look at that again. I actually like watching it. It inspires me. It inspires me because I did this during a time I hated animation, but I could only get to the rough animation. The thought of doing the cleanup is what stopped me in my tracks. I like the way you draw skulls. I don't know why, just something I noticed. Thank you, regular person. I like drawing skulls. I don't know if I have a specific way. I guess I have a way of drawing them I don't notice. But I've always liked drawing skulls. I'm not very unique in that regard. Everyone likes drawing skulls. There, almost 40 seconds of animation right there. Yeah, I can totally see this finished. Even the animation I did for the potential second part of Master Chief versus Kylo Ren was pretty good. Let's see that. But again, the idea of finishing it was what stopped me. Just cleaning up animation is what stopped me. That one's less fun looking, but I think my skulls are kind of friendly looking, to be honest. Unless I'm drawing a scary skull. I think we could reuse. I think we can reuse something. actually. That's more of an extreme upward shot. I don't think we can. I don't think we can get away with that. And I don't mind. I'll redraw it. In the past, if I wasn't able to reuse that asset, I would have been, oh fuck, I gotta redraw it. That was my attitude. Careful with your attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. Did you ever hear that? I remember that in high school. I was like, I don't get it. What do you mean it determines your altitude? It's like a bad metaphor. She's your backlog of unreleased animations and animatics must be incredible. Yeah, I just sent this snippet of the animatic. Oh. That looks cool there. I dig it. I think when he's dodging, you could push that even more, like the keyframes of him dodging the gunshots. Obscure shadow. Push it to the extreme. I declare war. like the art styles that look more cartoony rather than something more realistic like the Invincible shows. I'm right. I'm right there with you, regular person. I've never enjoyed realistic proportions as compared to cartoony. I watched an animatic of Invincibles from an animator that looks incredible. It looks so good. It looks like the animator used motion capture. It looks so realistic, but at the same time, I'm like, when I'm looking at that, I'm like, this doesn't feel like an animation. It feels like it should just be a motion picture. And in my opinion, it kind of strips the whole fun out of making an animation when it looks too real. I think it becomes more stiff, less lively, and just not as fun in general. I love the Invincibles story, and the animation team that works on it is incredible. But yeah, just that style of animation, that design style, is definitely not my cup of tea. I think Adam Artix, he wouldn't watch it because he didn't like the art style. So I was trying to convince him, like, dude, just when it first came out, because he hadn't seen it. I was like, just watch it. Just ignore the art style. But that's how powerful like people are affected by art style. It's like he didn't watch it because he just didn't like the way it looked. I can look past things. Just I can appreciate the art even if it's not something I like or something I prefer. But yeah, this animator who does the animatics for the Invincibles, his work is so hyper realistic. People accuse him of rotoscoping, and I see why. It totally looks like he just took a film and then just traced over it. But I also know it's possible to just draw that realistic because I've been doing it on accident. Like I've been drawing realistic on accident, because, so I know it's possible. And so I like when I draw something that looks too real world, I'm like, that was not on purpose. And I try to bring the cartooniest, the cartoonness back into it. Any thoughts on doing 3D animations as some sort of base to then? No, never. Even that idea just is like, I've seen people do that. I'm like, God, what's the point? And I get it. I get there's a huge advantage to doing that, but that would just be another version of me trying to make everything into a tween. It would just be a different version of that, like just trying to avoid the process of animating. It's like, oh, okay, the 3D models show me everything I need to see angle wise, then I just trace over it. It's like then I'm just drawing. I mean, there's an animation aspect 'cause you still have to animate 3D, but maybe I would try it, experiment with it, but that's definitely not on my radar as something I want to do. It's something I might experiment with, but I never even thought about that until you just brought it up right now. They did that with The spaceship and Space Ace, they used the 3D model and they traced over it, and it looks really nice. But they did it with a mechanical object. And I know Disney did it, some of that with character animation too, and you can kind of tell where they did it. It's like it looks rotoscoped, but they did it less and less over time. So yeah, not something I'm interested in doing. Cartoonius Maximus. Um, that art style is pretty quick, but it's right now with mainstream animations. But it was popularized with Young Justice, and I think the Vox Machina Critical Role show uses it as well. I think, yeah, they probably did, and I liked Machina. Uh, if they used it really well that I didn't notice. So if you can use it in a way that I don't know that you're rotoscoping, then good job. That's the whole point. It should not look rotoscope. Anything that has rotoscope looks uncanny. It doesn't look right. So good on them for making it not look like rotoscope. I think because all those shows use the same artist for the character design, it sort of suffers from same face syndrome. Yeah, Cartoonius Maximus. That's a new vocabulary for us. Yeah, I think that if you're doing something animated, you might as well go all in and do the stuff that can only be done with animation. Yeah, I agree. I think I have no there's no rules to art. You can do it any way you want, but for personally, I think if I'm going to do animation, I want to do all animation. I remember when I was in animation school and we were looking at some animations on film or like animation reels from people from other schools, and some rotoscope came up, and I remember one girl just turned away in disgust. She turned away in disgust. She said, "What's the point? What's the point of that? Like, if you're just going to trace over life, then what's the point?" It's like I don't have any. I don't. My opinions aren't as strong because I'm like everyone has their tastes, and I'm not going to try to say mine is better. I'm not going to try to say mine is better than someone else's. It's just preference. I don't want to do it. Maybe maybe I would do it for a vehicle or a car, but even then I would just use it as a reference and then I would try to just animate it normally. It's like that's where the fun is. That's where the imagination is. So why would you take the fun out? But if you were to ask me, not even 10 years ago, but 5 or 3 years ago, I would have said, I probably still wouldn't have wanted the rotoscope. I just wouldn't have wanted to animate at all. I was thinking, oh, maybe I would have used that as a shortcut. I'm like, nope. I would have still thought, what's the point? Just don't do it. But yeah, it was an interesting revelation when I saw that. I was like, God, this looks so realistic when I was watching this guy's animation. I was like, I cannot tell the difference between this and real life. Like, his drawings were so realistic. And then it dawned on me, I was like, but there's no, it doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel, there's no whimsy to it. It just looks like real life. It looks exactly like someone, what it would look like if someone were to just take motion picture footage and then just trace over it. And that's unfortunate. It's like people that draw whose art style looks like what AI does all the time now. Like, I feel bad for them. Like, that was an art style, and that's the art style that uh, AI has like geared itself towards, just making things look three-dimensional or realistic. Like, there's an artist out there whose style looked like that, and now he's just being accused of using AI. Like, how unfortunate. Same deal with this animator being accused of being just rotoscoping. It's like, no, he actually did that. It's just he's that good that you think he's tracing. Guess that's one of the benefits of having a stylized look too. You never run into that problem. Just like, this doesn't look realistic at all. Yeah, that's the point. All right, we got some of the this keyframe done. I'm in no rush. See, I've learned. I'm learning. It will be done when it's done. And I'm enjoying the drawing. I'm enjoying shaping this sexy character and making her move. Let's see what it might look like. Look at, you see all the time I'm about to spend on this. You get like you're getting like a glimpse of how much time this one keyframe is going to be shown. That's it. And I'm going to spend at least 3 to 4 hours on this one drawing, maybe 2 hours. 2 hours minimum on this one keyframe. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I want to draw. Oh, sorry, I meant Vox Machina and Young Justice have the same artist as Invincible. I didn't mean the rotoscoping. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, man, they used rotoscope? I couldn't tell. That's how I feel about Alex Ross art. How do you feel about Alex Ross art? I missed it. If you know who Alex Ross is, He does art that looks photorealistic. Oh, okay, that's who he is. His art is so realistic. I feel like it has gravitas, but also feel it loses the fantasy of comic characters. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And his DC Kingdom Come, yeah, that was the first time the Kingdom Come artist, or Kingdom Come artist, was the first time I was like, wow, this looks so realistic. And then at the same time, I was like, yeah, I don't really like this. Like, I can appreciate the execution and the skill it takes to make this, but I was at the same time, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything close to this. And he used real life models, I think. Like to get those looks, they use models and they use real lighting. Like they're very accurate. I had a teacher in art school who was like that. He wanted everything to be accurate. Like he wanted it to be just like real life. And like I butted heads with him so much as a student. I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to make it look realistic. I don't want to. I mean, there was value in that because you take the whole rule of, or not rule, but the whole idea is you learn the rules before you break them. And so I learned the rules and then I broke them. But if you don't know what the rules are, then you don't know what to break. You're just doing stuff. But all right, guys, I'm gonna check out now. Thanks for hanging out, there. Regular person, Swepo, Ricker, who's gone, LJL, Shades, and everyone else who's hung out. I might start doing the streams less, maybe once or twice a week instead of 4 times. But we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. If like I get a lot done and I still have energy, then I'll just flip the recorder on and then start drawing. But if I get kind of busy, I'm just gonna keep it to 1 to 2 times a week. But I'll keep it up. Maybe get some time to actually put up some videos, like actual YouTube videos. Maybe some update videos. So yeah. Maybe let's take a look at what we did on the iPad. So we got the one keyframe. We didn't even finish one keyframe. We drew some of one keyframe. It's 11:11 synchronicity. And we got one creepy girl warrior magic. I haven't figured out what species or kind of creature they are yet, but they'll be fun to animate. Kicking ass. Animate literally kicking faces. Alright. So until next time, I gotta do the thing. Gotta do the thing. Peace and 2 pieces.